fire up on the car yesterday. Unfortunately, I found that inside of the distributor here, the Patronic system was actually bad. I just put it on here not too long ago. So I just got back from the store, putting a brand new system in here. Should be able to fire it up now, and we can do the break-in on the cam. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. So day two, trying to fire it up because I was messing up, and whenever I was doing all this stuff on the car before, the original firing order for the 390 number one is back here. It points kind of across, almost like it's pointing back at cylinder number 8. And I put the distributor in and I pointed it at cylinder number 1. But I didn't want to remake all my spark plug wires and everything, so I just put it back to the factory location, which is back there. Everything should be perfectly fine. We're about to fire it up and give it a shot. But I found online as well where original firing order had it going back and not pointing at number 1, which I understand the whole pointing at number 1 thing. Do that on every engine and then you just build your spark plug wires accordingly. But really, you could set this thing in here anywhere you want and it'll work. You just got to remember where it's all at. And that's where I messed up at not remembering number 1 goes back here, not up here. So now that we've got this set, everything's ready to be done. I've got it ballparked into where I believe it should be good timing. Now we can give it a shot of trying to fire it up. All right, there it is. Engine went through its break-in cycle. It's late in the evening now, so we're gonna go home, call it a night. But tomorrow we'll come up here, we'll drain the oil, we'll inspect everything. We're gonna see how it is. We'll let it sit for right now because obviously it's running hot. Not running hot, the engine's hot from it running. We'll let all this cool down overnight. We'll come up here tomorrow after work and we'll dig into this and drain the oil, inspect it, make sure we don't have any metal flakes, make sure we didn't just eat the cam up. And we'll be good. Flat tappet cams, got the special break-in process, which I've done it before. You just luck of the draw sometimes. Sometimes it's bad material. Sometimes you do something wrong, which I'm pretty positive we did everything right. Now we just got to make sure, let everything cool, inspect the oil, make sure we don't have big metal flakes, big chunks or anything in it. And we'll do all that tomorrow after the engine cools down. And then after that, we get started on the fun stuff, building the exhaust. And I've got some ideas for that stuff, which now we're into this video, so I'll give a little bit more away. Y'all saw me talk about it the other day. I'm gonna do an H pipe, and I was gonna run these Dynamax mufflers again, which these are actually pretty new. All this oil and everything built up was because this car was leaking oil so bad. I mean, this is a stainless exhaust and it's all scarred up and everything, but I've got more. I got a couple of stainless exhaust kits over here, so we'll be able to use that stuff. But y'all saw me talk about the fact that I was thinking about running these Borla mufflers, Pro XS, that I've run in the past on other cars, and last minute I decided the Dynamax sound great on the car, but they're a little bit too quiet. I did a bunch of research and the Borlas sound very similar, just a tad bit louder. And I wanted a little bit more muscle car or hot rod sound out of I mean, let's be honest, it's just a station wagon muscle car. A big block, 60s era muscle car. So I decided to go try something completely different that I've never done before. We're gonna go with the Black Widow Venom 250 series. We're gonna give these a shot. They're full stainless. They're wide open. but there's supposedly supposed to be a muffler that doesn't have cab drone, which is a big draw for me for those. They didn't have cab drone. I know the Borlas don't have cab drone, and supposedly these don't have cab drone as well, but they also kind of give it that Flowmaster 40 sound a little bit with their own little twist. And Flowmaster 40s sound perfect on 390s. So this should really wake this car up and really sound good. But we'll start building all that this weekend. So tomorrow we'll get up here and we'll start draining the oil, do all that stuff, and go from there. Now that we've done the engine break-in, we need to drain the oil and inspect it and make sure we don't have a bunch of metal flakes in it from doing the cam break-in. So I'm gonna actually open this up and get some of the oil into this cup here. I see a lot of break-in lube, but I'm not seeing any metal flakes. All that stuff you're seeing in there is little air bubbles. I'm not seeing any metal flakes. Let's take it out in the sun. Nope. Still look good. I don't see any. I mean, there's minimal, which is normal for a break-in, but you're looking for a lot, and I don't see a lot. So I think we're in the clear here. I think we're all good. All right, so I just cut the filter open so we could inspect it. And let me grab my light real quick. I haven't seen any metal flakes, which is good. Means we did it right. I'm gonna finish going around this and then I'll get back with y'all. On to the next portion. Build the exhaust. So I got the V-band attached to this piece of pipe right here. And if you look, here's the transmission cross member, and we're riding this side, which really we're gonna run into shift linkage and all that stuff. So I need to shift the exhaust over and then come back to here, and then over there we're gonna come out, come back. We're gonna have both of them come inward, and I have an H pipe to go in. I already had the tailpipes both built, so all I had to do was attach the mufflers, which the mufflers are welded into place. There's still a little bit of adjustment in them as they sit, but the mufflers are in place. But I need to get basically from the headers to the H pipe built, and then it'll just be straight because I've already welded the H pipe into the size. And what I did was I just made the H pipe match the width of those at square. So it's just going to be straight pipe from here to there. The adjustment I have right now is with up and down, and then building the pipe from there back to the H pipe. So I just need to get that built. So I'm gonna get after it, and I'll bring you all along and show you all how I do it. I'll stop periodically and tell you all a little bit. For the most part, I'm just gonna run because it's a lot of up and down, cutting and grinding and slightly modifying and all that stuff to get all this built. So we'll get all this made. if you're ever wondering how difficult it was to build your own exhaust, it's not terribly difficult, very time consuming. I do a lot of this for work as well, so pipe fitting and stuff like that is not that difficult. I'm a welder for a living, so pipe fitting and everything, if I got to do it, I can do it. But I like buying these kits. These are Amazon kits. These are Amazon exhaust hot rod you build it kits. It comes with 4 90s, 4 U-bends, 4 45s, 4 straights. Yeah, I think that's it. Amazon V-bands, Amazon kit for that. This is a Jegs H-pipe kit. Just saves so much time doing that. And then I've already got the measurements for putting the straight pieces in, and I'll go ahead and cut those and I'll weld those in the car. So now I have this out. I'm gonna burn it all out. I'm gonna get it fully welded. We'll slide back underneath the car, put it back in the car for the last time. I can go ahead and bolt down the V-bands, and then I'll also, while it's going back together, I'll slide in the pipe to connect the H-pipe section from here back, be able to connect this to the mufflers, and then I'll just slide underneath the car and I'll just burn those 4 welds, 1 on each end here, and then 1 on each end on the mufflers. Burn those 4 welds in just underneath the car. But for right now, with having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 welds to do, it's easier just to pull it out from underneath the car, just burn them all around real quick, and then let it cool down for a couple minutes, slide it back under the car, slam it in, and bolt it in for good. So I'll put you back in time lapse while I burn this out. We got the H-pipe and everything built and installed, fully welded. Now, these are just sitting into place. The 2 pipes that go back and connect to the mufflers, everything's just sitting in place, but I love the way that it's sitting. So now I just need to burn this in, and once it is burned in, the exhaust will be 100% complete. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on time lapse and burn this in real fast. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm gonna fire it up real quick. I'm gonna set the camera down and we'll hear what it sounds like together. I'm not sure what that sounds like on camera, but that sounds really crisp, good sounding. I like how the H-pipe mellows it out just a hair. Sounds really good. Let's go tap the throttle, see if it'll idle down a little bit. they say one of the big positives for running these Black Widow exhaust is no cab drone. Well, we're not going to drive the car yet, but I rolled up all the windows, and I understand we're still in the shop, but I'm curious. It's actually very quiet. I'm talking a little bit below my normal speaking volume. And you hear that it's there, but it's not. That's 2,500 RPM. That's 2,500 RPM, and I'm just talking. So I'm gonna say for an exhaust that sounds aggressive like that, but I could whisper in here, it's pretty good. Oh, and that was even on high idle. Here's low idle. I'm pretty happy with that. It's coming out really nice. I mean, it's got a very aggressive sound, very muscle car-esque sound to it. I'm very happy with it. We're not done. I haven't taken the car out of park, so I haven't been able to test the transmission because my TV cable is connected down low, but I've got to connect it up high. We've just been in park, so that's not going to be an issue. Break-in process is done. Next thing we're going to start doing, I need to get the TV cable mounted, start working on all this AC stuff. I've got to get the bulkhead mounted, start running all of our lines, come up with a spot to mount our dryer, and then we can start doing all the AC stuff next week. We've got the compressor mounted, belt mounted, or belt found for it. Seems to be working for power steering and AC. We've got the condenser mounted up here into place, so we'll be able to make our lines and go over to everything we got to put over here. But I'm gonna say overall, this has been a win. I mean, after the loss of last week of not getting as far as we really wanted to get, this right here was a good milestone and really was a morale picker-upper. So, I mean, now I got to go treat my daughter to ice cream, because whenever I was putting the piece that y'all saw me weld on the ground, the exhaust going from the header to the H pipe, whenever I went to go put that underneath the car, I was struggling to get it up into place, and my wife's not feeling too good, so she's been taking some medicine and stuff. She was asleep on the chair, and I was in a bind underneath the car, and I needed some tools, and I needed a pry bar, I needed a jack, get underneath there. And while I was holding everything up into place, and I said, "Hey, baby, I need you to run over here and do this." She jumped on it. She got right to it. And she's 6 years old, about to be 7. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better kid to help you out with all that stuff. She absolutely loves being a helping hand. She loves all the car stuff. So here we go. I'll show you the exhaust up underneath. Now that we have the door open, you can get a little bit more light. But that is out of the header, and it goes around all the shifting linkage. And then the H pipe right there, going back to the Black Widow mufflers right there, and then over the tire, and you can kind of see the tailpipe right there. But I tried to keep the tailpipe as hidden as possible in this car, but man, it's very difficult. Now, the only thing on this whole system that's not stainless is the headers. The whole rest of this exhaust is all stainless exhaust. So this is a full stainless exhaust setup. I can't say full stainless because the headers aren't. And I originally tried to buy stainless headers, but they weren't for the 66 and plus 390 cars. Those have a different style of header, and y'all saw. Now, also, I want to point out this. Let's see if it says on the paperwork. Performance adapters. See if it tells the parts that it comes with. No. No, it doesn't say. It doesn't say on here, but I did get on their website. On the two separate websites for the 390 FE 2 and AOD transmission, the two separate websites that sell it, performance adapters and I can't remember it, but they're exactly the same. They sell the same exact product. I got on both their websites and I looked to see if it said, because I could have sworn it said mini starter. High, and they both said mini high torque starter. Okay, well, in my mind, whenever I hear mini high torque starter, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking a mini high torque starter. I just looked around to see if I had an old starter on the shelf, and I don't. But it's not. It might be a high torque starter. High torque starter. It might be a high torque starter, but mini, it ain't mini. There ain't nothing mini about that thing. I mean, the body of it is like this big, and then the motor is smaller than this one. So in my mind, this right here is a mini high torque starter. I mean, my hand covers it. But the other one, it's got a littler motor and a big giant body on it, and that's what made it hang way over, and we had all those header issues. But I even looked on their website, and it says mini high torque starter included with your purchase. And I looked on both separate websites. You know, I said maybe I just messed up and bought the wrong one, because it said, you know, it was just a hair cheaper. Same product, same description. Maybe I overlooked the fact that one of them came with a mini starter and the other one came with a full-size starter. Nope, they both say mini. Both of them have a picture of the starter they run. Neither one of those are mini. There ain't nothing mini about them. So we did get it to fit. It does fit. It does work. It doesn't look terrible down in there. You can't even see it. It's hidden. But you can see that nice shiny stainless exhaust. But also, I'll just show you this. I mean, yes, the engine's warmed up, but I'm not going to touch the throttle. I'm going to say I did pretty good for somebody who didn't put the cam in first. I keep giving that guy crap and saying something about it. The fact that he was, oh, you can't put you put the engine together wrong, buddy. You don't know what you're doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I shouldn't let the comment bother me, and it really doesn't. But, man, I know how to put stuff together. I'm not the best. There's a lot of people a lot better, but I'm not terrible. So we'll see y'all next week. We got AC to do on the car. We got a whole lot more of stuff coming. Like I said, this is not the only build we've got going on. This is just what we're doing right now. We have 2 more cars sitting in the other side of the shop that are up next. And then a couple little kinks to iron out on the Chicken Ranch truck. We gotta get back on that. We got a couple of shows coming up that we want to take this car to, and maybe one of the other vehicles that's in the other room. But that's it for this week. See y'all next week.